Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. So in today's video I am going to be showing you guys how to cut your potato greens. Okay, I'm not the best potato greens cutter. I won't really call myself the best. I think I know it enough to show you guys what to do, and I have been doing it for a while to tell you guys what to look out for, what to how to be careful, and how to actually do it. So I am here to show you guys. Anyways, let's get into it. First things first, you will need to gather up your stuff. I am so used to saying ingredients that I keep wanting to say ingredients. But anyways, you'll need to gather up your stuff. English will not kill me, my people. English will not kill me. God damn it. You will need your potato greens. There are many ways to get your potato greens. I get mine from my local African store. So yeah, you can get yours from like the farmer's market, or you can grow it in your backyard. Whichever way you get it, you still need your potato greens. And you will need a bowl big enough for your potato greens. I'm only using one of this bag today for the purpose of this video, so I don't really need a bigger bowl. But if you are doing like 5 to 6 bags of a whole lot of potato greens, you will need something bigger. So this is it. And the key ingredients is your knife. Everybody have their own preference of knife that they use. I like this size. Some people use like a smaller size or even smaller than this. I don't know, it depends on how comfortable you are. I am really comfortable with this, so this is what I use. And I said this is the key ingredient because you want to make sure your knife is as sharp as possible, because cutting your potato greens is already a stressful task. You don't want your knife to add on to the stress. If your knife is not sharp, it makes it really hard for you to cut your greens. And another thing is, when it's not sharp, it's very easy for you to cut yourself. So before I start, I usually like to sharpen my knife. I know my knife is already sharp, but I just like to make sure because now my knife is ready to go. So I'm just gonna put that here and then leave this here. The first thing you want to do before cutting your greens is making sure you wash your greens. If you have, I don't know if you have ever seen, like, I don't know if you've ever taken greens from outside, like growing it yourself or from a farmer's market or whatever, and then bring it in your house. You can still see the bugs and stuff on it. Potato greens is food to a lot of little insects and stuff. So when you do get it from like the garden or whatever, it's still on there when you bring it home. So you want to make sure you wash your greens thoroughly, well, whatever, making sure. And I will recommend, if you got your, I would recommend if you get your greens from a farmer's market or from your garden, to wash your greens for at least 3 to 4 times just to make sure it's clean. I know that these are clean, but I usually like to wash my greens 2 to 3 times. 2 times. Let me not push it with the 3. 2 times. And yeah, when you do get it from the farmer's market or your garden, you do see like sometimes there's caterpillars on it, little snails and stuff, like bugs. Sometimes one time I seen a whole butterfly. You will see bugs, so just make sure you wash it to get rid of all the bugs and the bug poop and stuff. So yeah, that's what we're about to do. I usually just fill my sink up with some water. It don't have to be warm, it don't have to be hot, it don't have to be super cold, just regular water that is comfortable for you. And yeah, I just put it in there, toss it, flip it, shake it, making sure like if there's any bugs on it, they come off. So let's get into that. So if you have a bowl big enough to fit your greens, you could use that. I like to do mine in the sink because it's easier to drain out the water and fill it up again. So I'll just put my greens in here, shake it, like I said, just you're making sure your greens is clean, and to make sure all the little bugs that are on here, that they come off. And if you do get your greens from like the farmer's market or your gardening or whatever, or sometimes from a regular store, you will see that this sink will be filled with so much sand. But this is what I mean by my greens is already clean, because there's no sand, none of that. But I still like to wash it and making sure that my greens is clean. This is my last round, and this is when I usually just, after washing it 2 times, the third water is what I use. I just let them sit in there, and then I just pick it from there. Also, another thing is, sometimes you will get some of these really brown leaves. It don't really matter. It's not gonna really ruin your soup or anything. But if you don't like it, you could get rid of it. I don't really mind it. So I cook these. But there are some that do look like this. And like I said, if it bothers you, get rid of it. If it don't really do anything like this. So yeah. Now I'm going to show you guys how to pick your potato greens to prepare them for cutting. So you're just gonna take one green, and when you take it, you will realize that it has a lot of little branches on them like this. So you're just gonna pick those off, and you will know your potato greens is really fresh when you hear it break. Like, listen, you want to hear that? When you hear that, that means your potato greens is really fresh. Also, if you are planning on planting your own potato greens, this is what you're going to plant into the ground, and this is what's gonna grow, you know. So what I just did is I just took out all the branches from on this long stem, and I am going to get rid of this. I mean, if you want to, it's up to you, but we don't really eat this part. We just pick it off and toss it, or you just keep it in the bag and plant it in your garden or something. So I'm just gonna take it, and then you just want to feel it to make sure you're only cutting off the hard part, because there are some pieces that are still soft, but they're still very I'll show you. Like this one, look at this. Like this one, this part is really hard, but like the rest of it is super soft. So I'm just gonna cut it right there, and then these branches is what I add to my hand. So I'm just gathering them to, in between my index finger and my thumb, and I'm holding it with the rest of my finger like this, and I'm just going to keep adding them into my palm like this. So you just want to try to even them out like this. They're not going to be perfect, but just try your best. So, yep. It is so much easier picking greens when you're with somebody else, because when you're doing it with somebody else, one person could be picking the greens while the other person cuts. So like by the time you're done cutting, the other person's done picking all the greens into their palm, and then they just pass it down to you. But when you're doing it by yourself, cutting greens is the reason why I have not made a lot of potato greens on my channel, because I am very lazy and I don't like to cut greens one drop a bit. Not at all. No. So like I always try to like look for somebody to cut my greens, or I just have to like talk myself into cutting my own greens. But it's time consuming, and I think it's boring. But sometimes you could play your music. This could be like your alone time, your meditation time, whatever you want it to be. You could just see it as not boring and not time consuming, just a time for you to just sit here, stand here. You could sit, you could stand, whatever you want to do, and just think, or have a partner you talk to. Also, if you are picking your potato greens to freeze it, I will recommend that you do not just freeze your potato greens green. Like as soon as you cut it, you just put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the fridge. You will want to boil it a little bit, and the reason why is when you freeze the potato greens while it's like not boiled or whatever, it takes longer to cook. I don't know what happens in the fridge. I don't know the science behind what the freezer does to it, but it takes longer to cook than it would when it's boiled. So you just want to start the cooking process by cooking it a little bit. Not to cook it till it's like done, but like just cook it for like 15 to 20 minutes by itself. Just steam it a little bit, and then you just cool it, put it in your Ziploc bag, and then you could freeze it. So now you can see that my index finger and my thumb is difficult to touch now. So now my hand is full. This is when I will start cutting. You don't want to add too much, and then your palm is like using a lot of muscles to hold this, because by the time you're done, your hands and your fingers or your palm, whatever, will be hurting. So you want to keep it like this. Once your index finger and your thumb is touching, barely touching, then you know your hand is full. I have this extra. I went a little bit too far. I was talking and I did a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna put this to the side like this, and I will still use that. So this is what you're going to be working with. How you're going to start, you want to make sure the top part, as you can see, it's not really even, but you want to make sure the top part is super even. So you're just going to even that out. So now this is what you're working with. Okay, so this is when you will start cutting, and you just want to, the point is to make sure to try to even them out. So you just start from the top, and you're just taking your time and slicing them as small as possible. You will be able to like see from the top what you're doing. So you just want to look for like the smallest sections and just slice. And then you clean your knife. Drop it, and then once you've gotten to this point, look at, you can't really see it, then you will want to push it up a little bit, just like this, and then continue. And when you get some from the bottom here like this, you just want to, like this, just cut it. And now we are back again. So you just push it up. I don't really know how to explain this part, but yeah. Just do it like this. Making sure not to cut yourself, and making sure it's always even before you push it up. First, you're going to start with the stems, and then you're going to work your way down to the leaves.
Making sure your knife is clean.
One thing you want to make sure you don't do is press too hard on the greens. You just want to cut lightly over it to make sure you're only getting like the smaller pieces out of it. Just enough pressure to just slice through it, but not too much to just go too deep. And you just want to take your time working on every angle. You want to go from the back to the front, side, side. Just making sure, the point is just to make it evenly short. Especially if you don't know what you're doing and you're doing this for the first time, make sure you are very patient with yourself and take your time, because rushing will make you cut yourself, and you don't want that. That would just ruin your whole experience and your day. Nobody wants to end their day of cooking bruised fingers or bruised palms or whatever. So you're just gonna take your time, work from every corner. When you get like this longer parts down here, you just chip it like that. Don't push it up too much, just push it up like about a little bit of, I don't know if that is an inch or a centimeter or whatever, but just push it up just a little bit, enough to just see that you push it up. I'm telling you guys, this is the pace that I always go on. I'm not even trying to slow down for the video. I just like to be very careful so I don't end up cutting myself. And taking your time, get you exactly the size that you want. Most of the time I do this when my kids are busy, they're doing their own thing, or my baby is taking a nap, or when I have help. But you do not want to leave this, go, come back. It will just take too long and then you'll just get too tired. So I like to, when I'm making my greens, I like to only focus on the greens until I am completely done before having the chance to do anything else. So, yep. Another thing you do have to remember is, if you have a lot of greens to cut, just know that your hands is going to turn green. Most of the time, my hands always turn green, but recently I have not been having a lot of greens to cut, so my hands have not been turning green. But before, when we used to go to the farm and stuff, when my mom goes to the farm, because we lived in like a location where it wasn't like this. It didn't have like a store that actually already have the potato greens. So we will wait for the summertime before when the farmers market is open. Then we will go and we will get our potato greens. So you want to eat potato greens like not once, but like during a certain season. So when my mom goes to the farmer's market and come back with like bags full, because you know, once you get your potato greens, you want to get enough so you could boil it, freeze it, and you always have potato greens in your fridge, especially for the winter and stuff, because we don't really eat it. It's not like a everyday. You don't want to eat the same thing every single day. So when my mom gets it a lot from the farmer's market, we will literally just cut greens that whole day. Like I said, it works better when you are working with other people. So she will bring it, we'll cut it all day, and once you're done, your hands are either really green or you have cuts all over your palm. It was fun because, you know, all the sisters and the aunties, everybody gets together, and yeah, we're all just sitting there talking, laughing, and because everybody is around, you don't really feel it like that. Okay, sorry, I'm talking too much now. I'm not even explaining what I'm doing. So once it gets to this point, this is very easy to cut yourself, so you don't want to really do that anymore. So you're just gonna cut it from the front to the back. So like this, you're just scraping it. I don't know if you can see, but you're just scraping it like this, making sure not to cut yourself. And yeah, this is our first bundle. This is the potato greens. And now, on to the next one. So as you can see, my index finger and my thumb, they're not touching, which means that I am straining my palm a lot, and you can feel it when you're doing too much. So you don't want to continue like this, so you could just take out a little bit, just pull it out until you get back to your index finger and your thumb. So like this, you want to continue like this. And then just continue. And then I will show you guys when you can add that piece that you just took off. So once, as you can see, my thumb is covering my index finger, which means I have enough space now that I can add the piece that I took off. And it's still even. I can still add, touch my index finger and my thumb. So I just continue. Okay, so this is all I got from that one bag that I have. So this will be nothing. I'm not gonna get much soup out of this. So you will need, usually if I'm cooking those bags, I would need like 4 or 5 of them. That will be enough to feed my household. But this, no, it look a lot right now, but it's not a lot. So just remember that when you are cutting your greens. So yeah, this is it. I took my time and I didn't cut myself. Like I said, I didn't really cut a lot. This is just 2 bundles. I hope you guys learned something. I hope this video was helpful. I wish I had this video a couple of years ago when I was still learning how to cook, cut my greens. So I just thought about it and decided to show you guys. Maybe this will help somebody who is struggling. And if you're not struggling, I hope this was entertaining for you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Let me show you that. Bye.